Hello, welcome to the G&E Show. Grant unfortunately can't be here today. He is off scouting real estate, a potential new investment that we might buy up in Naples, Florida. So I sent him on his merry way. Usually I go with him to these type of events. I do love shopping property. It's one of my favorite things in the whole world. But I decided to hold down the fort and do the G&E Show solo today. So I decided that I'm going to take questions again because I had so much fun last time. And all of you had such a great response and loved that format. So why not repeat a good thing? So thank you for being here. If you want to call into the show today, call 305-865-8668. I'd love to take your calls. In the meantime, I have a plethora of questions. I don't even know if I used that word in the right way, but it sounded fancy. I have a lot of questions to get to today. One last thing. I hit 10,000 views on a video I posted on my YouTube channel. I just started this YouTube channel and I'm growing leaps and bounds, like faster than I thought I would, but I'm still only at 10,000 followers, believe it or not. And so if you'd follow me on my YouTube channel, Elena Cardone, major thumbs up, so appreciate that. I'm putting out content weekly, if not daily, on the YouTube channel. All right, and lastly, before we dive into the show, I want to announce our winner from last week. Grant Cardone is giving away $100 to a winner. I don't even know what he did to get this, honestly, but John, congratulations, John Vigors, you won the $100. So if I knew the game, I would play it this week, but I don't, so maybe I'll just make up my own. How about... Oh, I wish I knew who did the questions. I could say best question. Natalie says she can look it up. I have not even viewed these yet. They were just handed to me. So let's just dive in and hope they're good. But best one is going to win $100. If you want to call in, you think you have the best question, 305-865-8668. Let's get to business, shall we? All right. Okay. What was early 20s Elena like? Would you speak former you? Not sure I understand what that means. What advice would you give her today? Okay. Well, early 20s Elena was very confused. Still, like, hadn't figured myself out. But I did think that I had to be very independent, strong, powerful woman. I couldn't let all my sisters down, the sisterhood, you know, the legions. So I felt like I could never depend on a man for anything. I had to do everything on my own to have my own credibility. And so in doing that, I would tell my younger self then that it is totally okay to depend on a man. As a matter of fact, I do now. And in depending on a man now, I actually have more strength as a woman. You're going to need people in life. You can't build an empire alone. No one in the history of mankind ever has. If it's not with a partner, it certainly takes a team. No one can do it alone. I think I would have had a lot less burden on myself, and that it's okay. You just have to prove yourself to you and be the best you that you can be. So that's what I would say on that. What made you stop drinking? Because I'm getting in trouble when I drink. No, because I don't know how to explain it. If you're not from New Orleans, you might not understand, but there's a streak that I have found in people from New Orleans that I haven't seen in anyone else. And when they drink or do drugs, there is a wildness that's probably not the healthiest. And so I decided to stop drinking because I had reached a certain point in my life, And I couldn't take myself to the next level. No matter what I was trying, I was beating my head against the wall saying, why can't I get there? I get here and then I fall down. I get here and then I fall down. And so that's when I decided to stop drinking and doing drugs, because I had not done a drug since I was 13. I did my first drug on my 13th birthday. So I just decided to see, hey, what would life be like without it? And that's when I stopped drinking and doing drugs. I went like, well, I've never done a drug since 2000. Since December 31st, 2000, I stopped all drugs and never picked that back up. I have like picked alcohol back up, but when I made the first decision, I went 3 years. And what that did for me was being sober in moments where I thought that I needed to have a drink, but being able to depend on myself to be entertaining enough, being good enough, not needing alcohol for confidence. I had to give it to myself, was extremely liberating. And anyone can have that false liquor high confidence boost, but who are you when it's just you? So those 3 years gave me a chance to really meet myself for the first time. And that was, in 2000, I don't know, how old was I? Late 20s. So I had never known that side of myself. Then I drank a bit, and then, same thing, kind of got in trouble. The reason I don't drink now is because I have too much at stake. It's a sacrifice. It's not really a sacrifice because I think drinking's bad for anyone. But even in the moments when I'm not drinking and wild, or like I have my inhibitions and low or whatever, just the alcohol in my system dulls me down. And I cannot afford that. I need to be super alert, super sharp, to be able to read people at all times and see red flags. So I don't want it in my system. I don't want to be cloudy. I don't want to do something that is not in my integrity. Because if I don't hold myself accountable and I lack integrity, then it blinds me to see when other people lack integrity. And if you get in bed, business-wise, if you get in bed with these people that lack integrity, you can cause a severe amount of damage to your empire. So most people, they can look at statistics and see what you've done, engage that, and they can say, wow, you're successful because of this, and you're successful, you have this, and you have this company, and it's made this. But nobody has a monitor machine of the success that you gained by not getting in bed with a bad guy, not doing business with a bad person, not becoming friends with a bad person who's going to infiltrate your circle, chitter chatter behind your ear, and whack off all your allies to render you weak. I don't know if I'm talking out of reality to people, but this is what happens in my mind. So if I'm not fully in integrity, I'm not able to see or call out other people that aren't. So I have to, it's just something I do personally. I have too much to risk. So that's my personal choice on that. How do you feel about plastic surgery? What kind of a question is that? Look, I mean, I'm not like Miss Judger, If someone feels like they need plastic surgery and it's going to make them feel better, then by all means, There's some people that take it too far. In my opinion, I thought maybe they were prettier without it, but who am I to judge? Certainly, the day that I need it, I probably will do it. I wouldn't put it past me. So that's that. What does this say? How should a woman handle being with a man who believes the bills should be split? That's a good question. It depends on y'all's agreements. I mean, you have to come to the agreements. Certainly in my relationship, when I first got with Grant, I paid all of my bills. We were not living together. And then when we went and looked at this ginormous house on the top of the Hollywood Hills and Grant was going to buy it, it was ridiculous for me to even offer, I'm going to pay half the rent. I mean, it was like, half the rent was my year's salary. You know, it was just impossible for me. I don't know. I mean, have the discussion, see why he wants you to pay half, see why you don't want to pay half. Can you contribute? What are you comfortable with? What is he comfortable with? Set out what makes y'all both feel comfortable. Maybe he wants you to feel like you're contributing. Maybe you have to earn that trust in a financial way. I had to earn Grant's financial trust, you know, that I wasn't just going to spend freely and disregard his money. Maybe he's had bad experiences in the past where women did that. I don't know. But as uncomfortable and awkward as it is, you have to discuss it and talk about what you feel comfortable with and how, you know, if you want him to pay for everything, what are you willing to do in exchange for that? There has to be an exchange. If he pays all the bills, what are you doing? Are you going to keep the house clean? Are you going to hire a housekeeper to keep it clean? Are you going to, like, I don't know. You have to come up with that. But there has to be an exchange so that he isn't making a criminal out of you. What's a criminal? They want something for nothing, you know? Are you okay with partners taking trips without their partners? I totally am. I say it all the time. Find the one you trust and build an empire. I don't say find the one you love because that is a given. Find the one you trust and build an empire. That means on days when you're fighting or days when you have to get out of town and just go be with your girlfriends, you can be trusted to keep your honor and integrity. And that is the type of relationship that we have. So I'm fine with it. Grant has never done that. He just doesn't do those type of things. I do it way more than him. I have my girlfriends in New Orleans. We've taken trips all around the country to go see concerts and whatnot, and he's fine with that. And I love that Grant is man enough to, or not man enough, has nothing to do with that, is just confident enough to trust me. So I'm totally fine with it. Is it okay to go through your partner's phone? Again, if you trust your partner, maybe not go through the phone, you know? Anything can be made to look like anything, you know? Anything can be made to look like anything. If you're looking for something, you can probably find it, you know? And so, on the other hand, there shouldn't be anything to hide. So we have an open relationship. He has never gone through my phone. I have never gone through his phone. I wouldn't think about doing it. But if he grabbed my phone, I'm not like, is he going to see a picture? Is he going to see a text? I mean, you know, I'm just not worried about it. That's not the game we're playing. So there's nothing really to worry about there for us. What changes would you make in your list today? Oh my God, that's such a good question. I have the idea. I have to figure out how to articulate it. Not many. Being a woman, maybe, you know, I said in the original list, I want somebody who's going to help me become better and stronger and greater than I am on my own. And certainly Grant has done that. What I didn't realize with that comes with a lot of growing pains. And so if I had to change anything on the list, I would say all of that, but delivered with a whole lot of love and nurturing and affection, or a little bit more of that, rather than having to suck it up and be tough. But I don't know, because I've developed another thing that is really also very powerful. And if I had just this, I might not have that, and I need this to survive at this level. So maybe the only thing I would add is just, okay, this is what I would add. When I am in a dress and it is date night, I would like him to turn off that thing and be focused more on this thing. Okay, that would be good. All the rest of the time, I'm happy to play assistant, run this, how are you? Let's chase after you. Let's make I'm happy to do that role. But when I'm in a dress and date night, I want you to open the door, which he mostly does. I want you to walk with me because I'm in heels and I can't catch up. I walk slower, just that would be it. Is that fair? All right. Oh my gosh, what is this one? There's no, oh, okay. Okay, all right. I don't normally talk about this subject. I'm actually a very private person. In your book, Build an Empire, you mentioned that I never deny my partner of sex. And it says, why in this case, what would you say to other women who usually go, I have a headache, and what event in your life made you make this decision? Elaborate. Well, okay, I come from an actress background. So since the age of 17, when I moved out to Los Angeles by myself, I knew no one. I either was an actress or a model. It meant I was going on go-sees or auditions almost every single day, sometimes 2 and 3 and 4 a day. And I had a lot of rejection over and over and over again. I would get down to the line on a screen test. So I had gone through 6 auditions. Now I'm at screen testing where you have the contracts and you're going to be making $30,000 an episode, which is a week. And you're like salivating because you're starving at the time and can't afford Starbucks. And you're like, this is my moment. And then you have the thing and then you go in and you have the audition and then you're like, did I get it? Did I get it? Did I get it? Did I get it? And then you get the call. You didn't get it. And it's like, and you have that over and over and over again. And then you get this, oh, you're too tall, you're too this, you're that. Every little thing about you gets so nitpicked apart. Like you can't even figure out if your head's on right. You're like, wait, last week I was supposed to be more this, now I'm supposed to be more natural, but I'm not polished enough, but I'm too green, but now I'm too perfect. And, it's just, you can't get it right to save your life in Hollywood. So having had that experience of understanding rejection, it's not something I'm willing to give the person that I love the most in this world. So that was just my viewpoint from the beginning. Secondly, I just happen to like sex. I don't know what else to say about that. And it's important to me, and I'm only going to do that with one person in the world. It's going to be my partner. That intimacy is very important to me. It's not just sex, it's intimacy. And connecting with that one person who is more than your best friend. It's your best friend and your lover. So I would never want to do anything to stymie or hurt that aspect of the relationship because I don't want to ruin that. I don't want anything to get weird in that department. That's just me. So what would I say? I would say to think about it from that point of view because, I had a boyfriend once who which was crazy because I wasn't used to this, but he just never wanted to have sex. And it messed with my head so bad. I was like, wait, I don't understand because I never had that problem. So I understand that side of rejection too. And guys are not different from girls, okay? You might think they are, but they're not. They're just as sensitive. I used to hang out with guys all the time. They talk about girls way more than girls talk about guys. Hand to God, I'm not lying. And they're sensitive and emotional. And if they care about a girl, they will cry. I have seen it before. So anyway, I'm just telling you, they care. They care. Don't let them fool you. What does this say? How do you know when it's the right time to have the hard conversations with someone you have recently been romantically involved with? I think it's the right time to have the hard decisions when you know that you want to take it to the next level. Like if you're feeling like you're gonna You're about to go all in. You could go all in. Have the hard conversations now. Get it up front. You know, the problem that I had pre-grant was I just like went blindly into relationships. And I assumed that the guy was everything that I thought in my head. And it wasn't until I was down the line that I realized, wait, you're not like this, you're not like that, you're not like this, you're not like this. I actually hate your guts, you know? So I would say in the beginning, write down, what is it? What is it that you want out of the relationship? What do you want from a partner? You know, it has to be more than just sex. Like it has to be like, okay, I want marriage, I want kids, I want monogamy, I want to treat you this way, I want to treat you that way, I want that when I'll come home, I want like, hey, happiness, excitement, I want create in the marriage or relationship. Write down everything you want and then have your partner do the same thing and exchange the list and say, hey, are you willing to give me this, 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 this? Okay, I'll give you this, but not this, and this is why. Like Grant and I did it almost at the beginning of our relationship. He was like, you know, I want marriage, I want kids. And I was like, okay, I want kids, but not now. You got to give me 3 years. And then I renegotiated for 2 more after that. I wish I wouldn't have. It was a dumb decision. Kids have changed my whole world. But anyway, that's what you have to do. You know, have the discussion now before you waste your time. If someone is never interested in going to be in marriage or kids, and that is a deal breaker for you, then no matter what chemical effect you feel in your body for that person, chances are you're going to get to a point in the relationship 2 years, 3 years down the line when they don't want to be married and don't want to have kids, where you're going to have to confront that and leave the relationship. You know, it's either then or then. Which is it? You know? Because you're not going to change them. Chances are you're not going to change them. Top 5 people in your council? Tricky. What are you talking about? If you're talking about relationships, I don't have any, I seek zero counsel. I seek myself. I seek myself. I can't talk to anyone about my relationship. The only time I talk about my relationship is after we figured certain things out and we agree to be transparent about it. But when we're going through something, it's silencio. It's like, it's so damaging to talk to anyone, even your best friend or your mother. You're going to tell them stuff. They're going to tell you stuff. It's going to go in your ear. You're going to constantly have that in dealing with this person. Like, oh my God, they're right. Look, they said this and watch, now he's doing it. Oh my God, I hate you, you know? And that never leaves. And then you're going to make up with your partner. And then you're always going to have this one and this one looking at you going, when's he going to do it again? It's in the back of their head. They're not going to say it. You can never make that person good in their minds again after you have totally trashed them. I've done it. It doesn't work. So counsel, you know, Grant certainly in my counsel, my kids, Sherry, Ryan. It depends on if we're talking business. I will go to whomever is the expert in the field. When I train Muay Thai, it's Diego. I'm not going to Grant to teach me how to kick. I'm going to Diego to teach me how to kick. If I'm going to learn Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I'm going to Javi because, you know, he's the champion. You know, like go to who is the expert in your field and then only seek them for that expertise. I'm not going to Diego, my sensei in martial arts, about relationship advice or business advice. But too many people elect one person the expert in all fields, and most people are still trying to figure it out themselves, just like we all are. When are you hosting your very own event? Very soon. So the classroom here at Cardone Enterprises is about to be finished. I think it's going to hold, what, 200 people? Less, 100, 150? Anyway, when I get the green light, which should be in the next month or two, I'm going to put out the word that I'm going to hold a women's only Women Empowerment Day, where we are going to come in and just do our magical stuff and leave here just totally like, you know, boss babes. So the answer to that, the short, long answer to that is very soon, and I hope to see all my ladies there. Besides Grant's persistence, what really won you over? You know, I had put the guy through so many hoops that at some point I had the realization that, God, I feel like I'm being so nasty today, but I had the cognition, the realization that it was more than just putang. I don't know how to say it any other way. I was like, look, most men, 99% of men would have hated me, never called me back, left me alone. And when Grant was still there, I mean, with a smile on his face, just like looking at me with admiration for all the stunts I had pulled, it dawned on me like, wow, this man sees something in me that I'm not even sure I see in me yet. And that became so intriguing and attractive to me. I was like, wow, like he's interested in me. I don't know how to explain it, but that was the thing that really was like, couldn't deny it. We have 3 phone calls. You want to take a caller? Let's take a caller.
All right, you got Nana from Venezuela.
Ooh, Venezuela. What's going on? Are you on?
Elena.
Oh, there you are.
Can you repeat that? I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, okay. Well, good. I hear you now. What's your question?
Oh, well, first I want to say thank you. I was at 10X event and went to our little gathering, and I truly admire what you're doing and what both you, Grant, and yourself are doing, and you being a woman, like such a wonderful thing, and so proud.
Thank you. Man, that means a lot to me. I'm so disgusted with myself that I don't speak Spanish. And I was born in Spain. I was this close to learning. My parents had to move me when I was 1. Couldn't they have waited 5 years? I would have learned by 5.
Oh, but I have no doubt that whenever you decide, you will. That's who you are.
I don't know. That is who I am, but I've tried and failed at Spanish several times.
Okay. You will.
Ocha Zaval. Ocha Zaval.
So my question is the following. Do you think that the extreme feminist movement or revolution is a bit obsolete? And I ask this because I am a very strong masculine energy in myself, and it was my leading energy all my life, and that didn't turn out very well in relationships, and I learned about emasculating men, which I had no clue what that was, and I was one of them. So now I made it my mission to help women understand this, and if possible, embrace more their feminine energy, because we get questioned so much, especially in the workspace. But I'm finding, women are very sad and frustrated today, and stressed more than ever before. And I believe it has a little bit to do with this living in our masculine more than in our feminine, and not knowing where to turn it off and shut it down, or just switch. So, I guess my question to you is how do you see us today with regards to this problem?
Well, I think in part, a little bit, we created the problem. But I'm not mad at us for creating the problem, because there was a situation back in the day where we were suppressed by men. We were expected to be in the home, in the kitchen, and not working, and made fun of if we tried to work. This was years ago. So when we were trying to get our own voice and our own power, we kind of had to go all the way to the other side, and like, don't help me, and I can do this, and don't push me down, and don't say I'm going to put me in the kitchen. And we had to go to this other extreme. And now I feel like we're at a time where women are equally as powerful as men. I mean, one ran for president, came this close from winning. I mean, a woman can be president of the United States of America. Like, we don't have this, we're not in the same problem that we were back in the 50s. However, we still have this massive fight thing. And what we've done, I think we've scared a lot of men. They're scared to offer for dinner. Should I offer to pay half? Like, they're confused. Like, do I open the door? I know she can open the door. Is it an insult if I open the door? I think, a lot of men, can I tap her on the back? Is it sexual harassment? Like, they're just uncomfortable around women these days. I think a lot of men are. So I think that's a little bit our fault. Now, the masculine feminine energy, I did the same thing in relationships. I'm not sure it's masculine feminine. It's just about, in trying for me so hard to be a powerful woman, I didn't let a man, I didn't let any guy get in. So I didn't open up. So in that sense, I emasculated men because I made more money than them. I acted like I didn't need them. So I paid for everything, and they could never feel like they were wanted or could contribute. And that always, every one of them cheated. Well, there was only two, but that I went out with seriously, but they cheated nonetheless, and so I had to look at what I was doing to make somebody feel that way, and to not feel that they couldn't have that with me, like that love or that care. So I don't know if it's feminine, maybe it is feminine to open up in love. I just think it's human. So. Did I answer that?
Yes, totally.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean,
and I think, we're going, at least from my point of view, through a transformation. And I agree with what you say. We're sort of swinging to the middle, probably, to be somewhere in between and not on both extremes.
Yeah. And a lot of women say to me, men don't like a strong woman, and I don't agree with that. I think men are definitely, at least maybe two things could be happening. You're either hanging out with the wrong people, or because the men that I know are dying for a strong woman. They text me all the time. They're like, when are you going to put this like dating app together? Because I want someone who's strong. I want someone who's going to help me build this thing, who's going to have my back, who's going to, they're looking for that. They're willing to they want that. They want a really strong woman. They don't want a woman who's just going to be a wallflower, or just a woman who's going to be like, whatever you want. I think guys get eked out by that, so that I think, if I'm accurate in my assessment here, I think men want a woman who's really strong, really powerful, can do what she does in her life, is willing to ride along next to him, contribute to him, take care of him. Men want to be taken care of. I really believe that. They want to be loved, and is secure enough in herself to do that. And then also, of course, be feminine. Most men want a feminine woman. I want a masculine man. It's just what I want. Some people don't like that. Some people like feminine men, But, it's just a liking. But there's nothing wrong with appealing to a man's eyeballs. It's also a lot of power in that too. And I say, use all the power you have. Find it all, because you should have every single weapon in your arsenal. And that includes femininity, it includes beauty, it includes power, strength, savageness, it includes it all. I mean, what isn't sexy about that?
All right, you got Jermaine in Pensacola.
Jermaine, hello there.
Hey there, Elena. How are you?
I'm great. How are you? How's Pensacola?
It's pretty cold. Well, for the south, right? It's been raining over here. I'm glad to hear you. It's pretty sad Grant wasn't able to meet us today, but I'm happy he's hunting some deals, so I'm glad for that. I'm going to get straight to the point. I don't want to waste your time or anybody else. So my question pretty much is, my wife and I, we're really connected. She's really, really supportive of me. And her and I, we're really in depth in you guys' content. Now, the question for me is pretty much this. I'm more literate in the business side, the business side of our relationship.
Yeah.
And sometimes we have some clashes because she gets frustrated, and I get frustrated because, she's not that literate in the business aspect. So she feels bad that she can't help me in that sense as a partner. So my question to you is, what can I do to help her help me so we can become, stronger in that aspect?
Well, I like that word you used, literate. I am not literate or highly literate. I am more now in Grant's world of business. I don't know how to do negotiations. I don't know how to read all these terms that he talks about, NOI, and R this and the real estate and blah, 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 blah. But I do look up the words that I don't know, the key words, so I can have a basic understanding of what he's talking about. But that's not what's needed from me for Grant. Grant knows that. And actually, sometimes in the fact that I don't always know everything about what he is talking about, it gives me an interesting perspective for him, because I can come at it and go, well, why don't you do this or that? And he's like, oh my, because he's so in it and everyone around him is so in it. Sometimes they can't pop up here and see. So I have been very beneficial in that regard on a few occasions, because it never occurred to anyone, but yet it made a lot of sense. Sometimes I make recommendations and I'll get hammered. You don't know what you're talking about. And it was a completely dumb thing to have said in the first place. But it's a risk that I have to be willing to make. And also know your roles. If you're good in the business, you run that department. So she's never going to make the business decisions, if that's what you agree on, in that area. So all she is ever going to be in that area is a sounding board for you, so that you can talk out your ideas and hear them out loud and come to your own conclusions. And if she supports you in that, she doesn't need to know every little detail about what you do, because certainly I don't for Grant. And then map out what she runs, that she's the boss of, and you do the same for her. So it's not like she just feels like every decision about everything is yours, because that might take a toll on a woman also.
All right. Wow, awesome. Thank you so much, Elena. That pretty much we're actually on track then. I'm really glad. And, before I hang up or anything, I just want to thank you again for your time. And if you could do me a favor to thank Grant for answering my other question on the Cardone Connect. My question was how to find myself. So he did that. It really touched me, and you guys have been a blessing to my life. And just thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Jermaine. I appreciate that. I will tell him. Make a note. Okay.
Awesome. We got one more caller. We got Linda.
Linda.
New York.
Linda from New York.
Yeah. Hi. Oh.
How are
A
you?
little bit because I'm doing awesome. I'm so happy that you were able to take my call, Miss Elena.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. I have a very uneasy question for you. It is about my relationship with my estranged sibling. Obviously, I live in the U.S. I'm originally from Europe, and our father, who also lived in Europe, so does my sister right now. Our dad passed away 4 years ago, and I trusted my sister living there to take care of, selling his house and all that so we can, take our inheritance 50-50. And I really gave her almost 100% freedom and, ability to, I wanted to make it easy for her because I'm not there. Fast forward 4 years, she has locked me out of everything and she's refusing to basically give me what's mine. So I'm at the point where the only way I can set, and it's not only a financial pull, which I actually wanted to have that money and invest it with you guys, which was going to be, one of the biggest things I would have given myself. But besides that, it's not just the financial aspect of it, but it's almost like this dead weight pulling on me from a sister that hates me, jealous of me, and now is trying to take what's mine.
Oh.
I would love, because so it's really, I just want it over with, and I'm wondering what wisdom you could offer me in settling this as fast and as easy as I possibly could.
And you've obviously already tried to talk to her and said,
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Like, I tried to be really sweet. I tried to be really nice. I tried to fight. I tried to, basically give it, I tried everything, and she's not, literally, she's not responding.
Well, I mean, I guess if you, how much money is it?
Well, it's a couple of $100,000 by the time it's converted and all settled.
Oh, I mean, I guess you want the money. You're going to have to consult some sort of a lawyer and see what's the best way to go after it and get it. And it's just extremely painful to do that. I mean, I would probably, if I was in your situation, have to talk to a lawyer and figure it out. I walked away from a house that was 250. I bought it for 250 or 210,000, and this was years ago in the 90s. And then that boyfriend I was living with at the time wouldn't leave, so I just signed the house. And he said he was going to put a mechanic lien on the house because he redid the kitchen. And now the house is worth over $1 million. But at the time I signed it over to him, I had not a penny to my name at that time. I had to go live in like a little 1-bedroom studio in a really bad part of town just to try to get back up on my feet again. My show had ended. It was something I was willing to do with the one provision that he never contact me again. I was like, you can have it. You'll stay here for the rest of your life. Have fun. I will go create my life. Who knew I actually would? But that was just me. I'm not saying to do that. But for me, I was like, and it still chaps me a little bit. It still burns me a little bit every time I know what that neighborhood is worth now. So you just have to decide, do you just want to walk away and go create it and say F it? Or, I mean, now in a new unit at a time, I would probably say consult a lawyer and try to, get what's yours. Your father would have wanted you to have half.
Absolutely. Okay.
Let me know how it goes.
Oh, for sure I will.
Tell me what you
Thank you so much for your
decide.
time.
All right, Linda. Okay. All right, should we take one more, two more, and then wrap up? All right, let's go. I don't know, I can't think of that one quick enough. What's the one thing most of your followers would be surprised to hear about you? I was thinking of something the other day. I was like, oh, that would be interesting for the next time I had this exact question. I forgot what it was. Do you know anything?
That we want to ask?
No. Do you have a question? I have Megan in the audience with me today.
Yeah, let's ask which one you want to ask. Yeah, so we have one here. This is a cute.
Come. Let's let everybody see you.
Okay.
And then we'll take these questions and then we'll go.
Right here? Here? Awesome. Should we just do, where do you want us?
You right here. Do you mind standing just for a sec?
No, it sounds
Okay. So this is Danielle and this is Megan. When I look at the camera, it's backwards, so I had to look and see who was who.
Okay, so we have a question from our girl Janice Doan.
Oh.
And she wants to know, how do you get Sabrina and Scarlett to exchange with you in Grant?
Oh gosh, they do so much. First of all, I boss them around the house all the time. I'm always like, "Will you go get me this?" They're like my errand girls. I make them do all that kind of stuff, and it's so nice being a mom because I had to run around and do all that for years. So now they do that. Sabrina and Scarlett put on little shows for us all the time and act out little things. They also do something called 10X Kids here in the studio, so they know that they love to do it. It was their idea, but they know that they're contributing to Team Cardone and our brand when they do that. The other thing they do, which is the thing that I reward them most for, is that when we can't be with them at all times, they hold their job and their role, which is to make it okay for us to be gone and to be helping people. Nice. So they're not getting in problems, they're not having accidents, they're not breaking bones or legs or, you know, cutting them, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, you know, they're not just having accidents. They're that would focus me and have to get home. They're not getting sick. They're taking care of the people that are in charge of them. I put them in charge of the people in charge of them. I say, you take care of April and blah blah blah, you know, like so they understand they have a job and they fulfill those very well. They make dinners for us.
Nice.
You know, it's just amazing. You know, it's like any way that a child wants to contribute, it's very important to let them do that, because everyone, no matter what age you are, feels good about themselves when they can be competent and when they can work. Work makes anyone and everyone feel good. So as far as a little infant, every time they give you a smile, that is an exchange that they're giving to you. Most little tiny toddlers will want to get on your computer and play because they're trying to help you. So as much as you want to say, stop, 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 when you refuse that help, you're rejecting them, you know, because in their mind, all they're trying to do is what the adults do. They're trying to help you. So I look at everything that they do for us as that is there in exchange. They draw us pictures all the time and write little love notes, and you know, so all of that is what they do to exchange for us.
That's awesome. Amazing. Thank you. That's awesome. I have one more
question.
Okay,
let's do it.
I have one more from both of us.
The one about like,
we wanted observation.
Yeah, we were like really wanted to know like when you're observing people, because you're a master of observation. Like, what do you look for?
I've gotten good, but I don't know if I'm a master yet.
So we wanted to know like what are those key things that you look for, and then how do you
my
like
secrets?
Yeah, your secrets, and then like kind of push that out of your space.
Yeah.
You mean how do I push them out of my space?
Yeah, gracefully, because it's not, you know.
There's a lot of things I look for.
Yeah.
And they show up immediately.
Okay.
One of them is how do they receive communication?
Okay.
When I give a communication, is it exactly understood on the other side, or is it altered?
Right.
Yeah.
If I say the cat was wearing a dunce hat, paint me that picture, and there's a dunce hat next to a cat, they altered it. And for people that alter things, I'm going to know that they're going to alter situations. They're not going to understand what actually is being said because they're going to alter it. If I give a communication for you to give to somebody else, I can be certain that they're going to alter it. If I say, this is great news, blah, 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 and it stops with that person doesn't forward good news, that tells me something about that person. If I say, this horrible thing happened, and blah, 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 and I can't believe it, and this person goes and tells everyone the horrible news, that tells me something about that person. I don't want a person that's going to forward bad news. I want someone who's going to filter out that and has the right judgment to filter out certain things, and that's just one thing. Right. I mean, there's so many things. I can go into this area, this area, this area, this area, this area, but it's just looking at the way people treat their material things in their office? Is it damaged? Is their car damaged? You know, is their place a mess? I mean, you can look at me and you can see my closet. The state of my closet right now is a complete wreck. Like, I have to dedicate my time to sort my chaos. Now, if somebody's desk is in complete chaos, but they're a producer and they get so much stuff done and blah, 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 I don't want them stopping to clean their desk. I want them to keep producing. If that was a successful action, to have a wrecked or a messed up desk, continue to have a messed up desk. But if you have a messed up desk and you're not getting results, you're out. You know, so there's just so many things that I look for in people. You know, do they do what they say? If you told me you were going to start working out and you were going to lose 20 pounds and I see you 2 months later and you're heavier, I know that you don't keep your word. You know, it's, you know, and of course everyone can fail in any number here, or you flunk here. I flunk all the time. But it's, you don't judge someone on one little incident. It's the consistency. What's the through line like? It's over a long period of time. It's not just a one-off. Everyone flunks on a one-off.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like, no one's perfect.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
That was amazing. I hope the boys heard that about the messy spaces.
Yes,
We
because
produce a lot. We produce a lot.
my closet is so wrecked right now. That's why I said, hey, if the closet is messy but I have stats, leave my closet alone.
Like that area.
Like, you know, come on, I have stuff to do. Leave me alone.
Look at the stats.
Look at the
I like
stats.
it.
The
I like
stats
it.
don't lie. You can get away with murder if your stats are up. No joke, you can.
I love it. I love it. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you, and thank you for tuning in to today's G&E Show. I love this format. Grant said, he called me right before the show to wish me a great show, said to tell everyone he is sorry he's not here, and he's working for you. Anyone interested in Cardone Capital, go to cardonecapital.com. We'd love to have you as our partners and investments in the future of where we're going. If you want to ride on this party train, come on, cardonecapital.com. We'd like you there. And again, just to wrap up, if you will follow me, last question? Best question. Oh, okay. But wait, if you will follow me on my YouTube channel at Elena Cardone. I know it's kind of an outrageous target. What, Grant's at like 2 million, 1 million?
He's closing in on 1 million.
He's closing in on 1 million, and he's been doing this 6 years ahead of me. I'm at 10,000, but I decided that I want to surpass him with the 1 million. So anyone out there willing to go subscribe to my YouTube channel and help me make my dream into a reality, I would love it. Okay, what do you think was the best question? Does anyone know?
I like the one about the 20-year-old you.
You do? You like the 20-year-old me?
Yeah, and I had that question as well from someone. So.
You do? Okay, so that's the winner then. The winner was number 1. Do you know who wrote that question, Johnny? Giorgio is the winner of the $100. Do you subscribe to Grant Cardone and Elena Cardone on YouTube? That was the fine print. If you do not subscribe to Grant and Elena YouTube, the winner have to subscribe. You have to do something. This isn't something for nothing land. All right, it's been a pleasure. It's been so much fun. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Stick and stay is bound to pay. That's what they say. Thank you.
This video, make sure you go watch this video right now. I'll see you there. Hey.